So it's a little after 11 o'clock. What I'm going to call day two of, you know, my time with Jin. We're, it's still stressful. About 3 a.m. this morning, she started vomiting, like every couple of hours. And she couldn't keep anything down. She'd eat a little bit and then throw up and then drink a little water and then vomit again. And so I called the vet and they were able to squeeze her in. They're doing curbside service only right now, so we had to take her to the vet and drop her off. And they basically kind of kept her in the kennel area, away from any other dogs, to kind of just wait and see for when the vet would be available to see her. Excuse me. And so when he did see her after his surgery with another dog, they recommended an x-ray, which of course, yeah, do the x-ray, find out what's going on. And they saw what looked like a gas bubble that could have been like ileus or maybe some sort of obstruction. But then when the radiologists looked at it, they didn't think it was an obstruction, which is like a good thing, but they were concerned about it still possibly being ileus, and her electrolytes being out of whack. So they did like a procedure, and then they did like a fluid treatment with some like electrolytes or something like that, because apparently that's one of the most common causes, is that there's just some sort of electrolyte imbalance. So for all of those people who know me personally, and if I've ever made fun of you for your need of electrolytes, please know it was in jest, and I'm sorry. So, like, and then they gave her some Serenia. So, and, and I'm supposed to monitor her overnight and try to get her to drink water, but she is not allowed to have food until the vet sees her again tomorrow, and makes an assessment. So, there's that. The vet bill kind of caught me off guard. Like, I knew it was going to be pricey, but, as all vet bills tend to be. And, but it still kind of threw me for a loop. Luckily for me, I have really good friends who have been helping me out a lot through this, and especially because, I wasn't expecting it. And, but still, belts will be tightened just a little bit, but that's probably not a bad thing since, COVID 15 or 50 or 500, whatever you want to call it, quarantine 15, hit me pretty hard in the waist anyways. So there's that. My pug was still pretty aggressive this morning, and just like really, like everything that I've read, like I'm reading The Puppy Whisperer right now and watching training videos on YouTube, and one of my coworkers actually worked with a foundation in Chicago when she rescued her dog, and they specifically assess the rescue pups that you don't really have a history on and make recommendations. And she was very kind enough to share that document with me, and that has like a lot of helpful material that I'm slowly making my way through. This is one of the few times where it sucks to be a painfully slow reader. So probably something I should work on. But from what I've read so far, the pug being aggressive is probably most likely like fear and fear based. On the plus side, it's mostly been just barking. Like he stands there and he barks. He's not trying to lunge at her or anything like that. He barks and he backs up, and he barks and he backs up. So I'm hoping. I had ordered a thunder vest, or yeah, thunder vest, thunder shirt, something like that, and an anti-anxiety collar and some calming chews for him on it. And they got delivered today, so this evening. So we put the thunder vest on him right away, and that seemed to help. And we put the collar on him. We did offer him the treat, but he really didn't seem interested in. But I, I guess a win there is that after we put the vest on him and we put the collar on him, when we did that, he was upstairs, in the bedroom, just because we wanted to give him some quiet space and quiet time, and we put that on him. And then when he came down, Jin was already in her crate. Poor thing, she is exhausted from today, and you'll probably see her little bandage there. But she was exhausted, so she went to the bathroom and she drank some water, and then she just kind of went into her crate and with her plushies and just laid down in there. We put some soft blankets in there, and she kind of like shuffled them into the corner and just wants to lay on. I think that the plastic part of the crate probably just feels really nice to her right now. So we just kind of let that be. But when he came downstairs, we hadn't put the blanket fully over her crate, so he could see her immediately coming down the stairs, and he didn't bark. He just kind of looked at her and sniffed, and then went outside to go potty and we did his bedtime routine. And so hopefully that investment pays off, but we're going to continue to work with him on his behavior and towards her and her behavior towards him, and hopefully a year from now, or however long it takes, like they eventually get along, or at least get to the point where they quietly tolerate each other. That's really all I can hope for. I thought about it, and I really don't want these videos to be all negative, so I'm trying to also like focus on some positive things. So and I made a list. Just to help with the sanity. So one, she was excited to see me when I picked her up in the bed, like super excited. Like they brought her out, and her tail was wagging the minute she saw me, and she came up and kind of jumped on me and gave me a kiss on the face. So I'm taking that as a good sign, that she doesn't hate me, which was one of my concerns. That like, all I kept thinking yesterday was, oh my God, this dog hates me, and if she hates me, it's not going to work no matter what I do. And so I had that feeling of helplessness there. So that was a fantastic feeling. And even better was when we got home from the vet. Um, Noctis, who's the corgi, and Didney, who is the pug, they were loose. I have gates in the hallway so that the dogs can't just rush up to the door and bombard anybody coming in. So they walked up to the gate, and Noctis was super excited to see her. His little stump that corgis have was waggling back and forth, and he was excited to see her. And then the best part was she seemed to be excited to see him. Like, she kind of approached the gate and her tail was waggling, and she did that like down thing that I don't know if you've ever watched dogs play, but when they're being playful, they kind of like lower their front of their body so that the other dog, I think it's to signal to the other dog that it's playtime. So she did that, which is super hopeful for me, because they so far have kind of gotten along together. And when I took her into the kitchen, which is currently her space, she kept trying to like peek, like prop herself on the cage so she could peek over and see Noctis. So I am hopeful that that's a sign that, at least she and my corgi are not necessarily ready to play together yet, but at least interact in a highly supervised environment. But we're still going to take it slow. We did give her a plushie. Actually, she got 2 plushies today because we had read that giving them soft things helps to soothe them. So we had already had a unicorn plushie that we had 2 of them for whatever random reason. And so we gave her that one. The only downside of that one is it has a squeaker. I don't know if you can see it, because it's underneath her other plushie that my daughter decided to give to her from her massive, massive plushie collection. I'm wondering if I need to do an intervention at some point, but I guess I'll cross that bridge if it gets to that point. Hopefully not. But we introduced her to it, and she took it very gently, and she took it into her crate, and she cuddled with her. And then the cutest thing is that when we were leaving to go to the vet, she gently picked up the unicorn plushie in her mouth and like took it to the door, like, let's go, I'm taking my new friend with me. And that straight up melted my heart. I was just like, oh my god, so cute. So that was pretty good. And it gives me a little bit of hope. And she also met 2 new people in my new to her, but not new to me, like people from my friend circle who I'm actually very, very close with, and they've been really excited to meet her. And I kind of explained to them like some of the struggles that I've been going through with her and how I wanted to be very careful about introducing, and they were just phenomenal about it. Like, I had to stop by their house because that's where my eldest daughter lives. She rents a room from them to, do her adulting thing, and I fully support her. So I went over there to pick up the plushie she was donating to the cause, and they asked very politely, like, if they could at least approach her side of the truck and see her. And so I said yes, but I made sure I got out of the truck and went to that side of the truck, and I stood by the door, and they approached her very carefully, and they put their hand out, and she actually sniffed it, and she actually licked my friend's hand, and I thought she was going to melt completely. So she didn't nip, she didn't act aggressive, she was very friendly towards them. So I'm feeling better, much better about that. And then the other thing is she didn't chew through her lead, and it was a very nerve-wracking day, and I could tell she was nervous going to the vet. And in the car ride, she was a little bit nervous as well because she kept shifting and fidgeting. She couldn't like quite settle, and I don't know if it was discomfort from, being ill or what. No, no, mama. My cat is also just kind of exploring who this new person is, so I'm trying to be very careful to monitor her, to make sure she doesn't get too close. Um, but yeah, but she didn't chew through her lead, which is what she did a couple of days ago when she was super nervous. She just started chewing on the slip collar lead that we purchased, and she ended up eating through that. It was didn't stand a chance. Just didn't like. I turned my back for like maybe 5 minutes and turned back around, and she had already halfway through it. It was hanging on by a thread. Um, so, um, but she was excited for the car ride today. Like she hopped up into the truck and sat and, seemed to be trying to enjoy it as best as she could under the circumstances. So that was good. Another win would be that my corgi that I'm fostering, Noctis, he did incredibly well with his training. Like a lot of it was review for him, but he was like receptive to it. He, didn't need as much coaxing and prompting as normal. So, that's going really well. And overall, he was just playful and loving. Like at one point, I had finished work and cooking dinner and getting Jin settled down after coming home from the vet, and I just was exhausted, and I just laid down on the floor, and he just came right up to my face and started licking me and like, cuddling with me and snuggling with me. So, there was that. And then also the other thing is like Disney, after we put the thunder vest on him, he really calmed down. Like the last 2 days he was not really wanting to approach me because of like the anxiety with everything going on in the house. That after we got that thunder vest on him, he actually came, and as I was laying on the floor just kind of like having a existential crisis, right, or something, he came and he lay down on my chest. So I'll feel better. And then I guess a personal win is that I managed to do some self-care today. I'm currently look greasy and stuff, but it's a skincare routine that my friend recommended to me. So I go to bed looking like this, and I'm going to emerge a beautiful butterfly with really healthy skin. And then the other thing is I've lost 5 pounds from since Monday. It's probably not healthy, but I have been worried, and then also walking around a lot more and trying to be mindful of my calorie intake. So I'm gonna call it a win. And if my doctor tells me that that's too fast to lose weight, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I'm gonna call it a win for now because I don't know about the rest of you guys, but quarantine hit me hard, and I decided to fall into several pints of Ben and Jerry's. I'm not going to disclose the exact number because I think it would hurt me to look at those receipts right now. So we're just going to leave that at that. But overall, aside from the scare with the vet, like I want to call today a better day than it was yesterday, and hopefully like that upward streak continues. But we'll see what happens. If anybody's actually watching this and has advice for me on recommendations, I am definitely open to suggestions. Like if you have material for me to read, please share it. I'm always happy to read and try and find good ways to have a healthy relationship with my animals. So thanks for sticking around for another long rant, and hopefully these don't always start off with negatives. Good night.